Your brain doesn't just perceive clutter, it actively builds new neural pathways to process the visual noise, inadvertently rewiring itself for distraction. This isn't just a metaphor for mental fog, it's a tangible, measurable process happening inside your skull right now. Today, we're going to unlock the hidden operating manual for your mind, specifically diving deep into how cognitive load and attentional capture are shaped by the physical spaces you inhabit. You're about to understand how a seemingly innocuous pile of papers or a crowded countertop isn't just an external nuisance, but a direct biological input that dictates your brain's performance. Think of your brain like a high-performance computer. It has a phenomenal central processing unit, capable of incredible feats, but it also has limited working memory, a finite amount of RAM dedicated to immediate tasks. Now, imagine trying to run a complex, demanding program, like writing an important report or solving a difficult problem, but with dozens of unnecessary applications running in the background. Each one is quietly drawing on your system's resources, even if you're not actively interacting with it. That, in essence, is what visual clutter does to your brain. It creates a constant stream of background processes, each one demanding a sliver of your precious attentional capacity. This phenomenon, known as cognitive load from visual distractions, has been meticulously observed. A groundbreaking study by Kanaka in 2015 demonstrated that individuals working in highly cluttered environments experienced a measurable decrease in their ability to filter out irrelevant stimuli. Their prefrontal cortex, the command center for focus and executive functions, was working overtime, constantly trying to decide what to pay attention to and what to ignore. It's like your brain is trying to decipher a conversation in a crowded, noisy room rather than in a quiet, dedicated space. Each extra object in your field of vision acts as a tiny, unsolicited data point, pulling at your finite pool of mental energy. You might not consciously register every single item, but your brain's attentional networks are still expending energy to process their presence, even at a subconscious level. This constant, low-level processing isn't just tiring, it leaves less bandwidth for the complex, deep work you actually want to do. The result is a persistent feeling of being overwhelmed, a nagging sense that you're always playing catch-up, even when you're doing nothing at all. This relentless demand on your cognitive resources doesn't just impact your immediate tasks, it sets the stage for something much more profound. And here's the truly shocking part. Clutter doesn't just steal your attention, it fundamentally reshapes your brain's internal stress response system. Before you understand this, you might simply feel drained or unproductive in a messy space. You might blame yourself, thinking you lack discipline or focus. But with this understanding, you see that your brain is simply responding to its environment in a perfectly logical, albeit unhelpful way. Consider a messy desk versus a clean one. On the cluttered desk, your eyes flit from an unfinished coffee cup to a stack of papers to a tangled charging cable to a forgotten pen. Each movement, however tiny, is a micro-decision point for your brain. Is this important? Should I attend to this? Even if the answer is consistently no, the constant barrage of stimuli keeps your brain in a state of hypervigilance. A pivotal study by Roster and colleagues in 2009 revealed that individuals exposed to disorganized environments exhibited elevated levels of cortisol, the primary stress hormone. Think about that for a moment. Just the sight of disarray can trigger a physiological stress response, activating your body's fight-or-flight system on a low simmer. What does this mean for your brain? Chronic low-level stress literally impacts the structure and function of your hippocampus, the brain region crucial for memory formation and spatial navigation. It's like trying to cultivate a delicate garden in a field constantly buffeted by strong winds. Over time, this sustained stress can impair your ability to recall information, make decisions, and even regulate your emotions. Before, you felt vague anxiety or forgetfulness. Now, you realize your brain was just signaling that it was under attack from its own environment. Understanding this is like suddenly realizing why your car was sputtering, not because it was lazy, but because the fuel filter was clogged. Your brain isn't failing, it's communicating a need for a less taxing visual landscape. The constant demands on your prefrontal cortex and the subtle rise in stress hormones aren't just minor inconveniences, they are active forces eroding your cognitive reserves and making it genuinely harder to maintain focus, process new information, and even simply feel calm. Your environment isn't just a backdrop, it's a co-pilot for better or worse. Now, with this powerful knowledge, what can you actually do today to work with your brain instead of against it? First, implement what we call visual zoning. This isn't about perfectly decluttering your entire life overnight, which can feel overwhelming. Instead, identify one or two specific areas where you perform critical brain tasks, perhaps your workspace, a reading nook, or even just the countertop where you prepare your morning tea. In these designated zones, ruthlessly remove all non-essential items. Your brain benefits enormously from these clean pockets because they drastically reduce the visual noise that triggers cognitive load. When you sit down at a visually clean desk, your prefrontal cortex isn't immediately taxed with filtering. It can dive straight into the task at hand, conserving that precious mental RAM for actual problem solving or creative thinking. Imagine walking into a library where every book is in its place, making it easy to find what you need, versus a library where books are scattered everywhere. Your brain experiences a similar immediate relief. Second, embrace the 5-minute reset ritual. At the end of your day, or even between major tasks, dedicate just 5 minutes to tidying up your immediate surroundings. This isn't a chore, it's a neurohack. The simple act of putting things back in their designated spots, even for a short burst, engages your brain in a rewarding, low-stakes activity. It releases a small, consistent burst of dopamine, reinforcing the positive habit loop. This isn't just about cleaning, it's about signaling to your brain that order is being restored, reducing that underlying stress response. Over time, these consistent micro-actions prevent the massive buildup of clutter that creates a major cognitive drag. Your brain learns to associate these small acts of tidying with a feeling of calm and accomplishment. Third, extend these principles to your digital environment. Your computer desktop, your email inbox, the folders on your phone. These are just as capable of generating cognitive load as physical clutter. Unnecessary icons, a chaotic downloads folder, or hundreds of unread emails all demand attention from the same attentional networks in your brain. Take some time to organize digital files into logical folders, unsubscribe from newsletters you never read, and clear your desktop of superfluous icons. This digital decluttering frees up mental bandwidth in precisely the same way as physical decluttering. You might even find your reaction times improving or your digital tasks feeling less exhausting because your brain isn't constantly parsing through visual static on your screen. It's a direct translation of the physical principle to the virtual world, giving your brain a much-needed break from the digital noise. From this moment on, you can truly understand that your environment isn't merely a backdrop to your life. It is an active, influential participant in the very wiring of your brain. You are not simply a person who struggles with mess. You are a complex biological system, exquisitely sensitive to visual input, whose prefrontal cortex can be overwhelmed and whose stress hormones can be elevated by the very spaces you inhabit. This is an incredible power because it means you now hold the keys to consciously shaping your surroundings to optimize your own cognitive function, memory, and emotional well-being. You have a deeper understanding of your own neural architecture. This isn't about being perfectly neat. It's about giving your brilliant brain the quiet, focused environment it craves and deserves. Your understanding of what actually happens inside your brain is only just beginning to unfold. There are so many more astonishing mechanisms waiting to be discovered, so many more ways your internal world is being shaped by forces you never even considered.